Yo, Counter Attack podcast with myself, Daps, back again. Guys, before I get into this video, keep liking, subscribing, sharing, all of that good stuff. As always, comments under the video. Let me know what you thought. Let me know what you think. Let me know which guest you want to see on in the new year. I don't think this is going to be the last one before the new year, but we'll see anyway. But guys, man, World Cup. This has probably been the best final, maybe even the best football match I've ever seen. I'm saying maybe because I might just be in the moment and I'm probably forgetting stuff. But honestly, this match had everything. And in the build-up, in the lead-up to this match, we were talking about, Messi and Argentina. We was talking about Mbappe and France and the two big dogs. And I'm just glad that, both of them showed up. I'm not even gonna use this video to like trash anyone. No, I'm not. But what I do want to say is, this podcast ain't about trashing anyone. It's more just about paying homage and just loving the game. Like, honestly, there is no game like football. I don't care what anyone says. Like, you cannot watch that game and tell me that it's boring or it's not for you. That was a proper advert for football. And if I'm being totally honest, it's the best way that World Cup could have ended. Because, okay, so going into the World Cup, there's been a load of negativity surrounding the World Cup. And credit to the people in Qatar and FIFA, all they've done, they just let the football do the talking. They just let the events do the talking. You've not heard anything about fans getting arrested because of hooligan behavior. You've not heard nothing major has come out apart from football. Yes, we can nitpick and say the standard of refereeing and blah, but that's got nothing to do with the actual World Cup and like being in Qatar and whatnot. So credit where it's due, because all that noise that surrounded the World Cup initially, all quieted down. Yeah, all people talking about pride and LGBTQ rights and whatever the issues were that people had with the World Cup at the beginning, which they were which they forced upon us, which they wanted us to have an agenda with as well, quietened down by the end of the World Cup. And it left us to just enjoy the football. Took all the politics away from it, took all of the bandwagon hopping away from it, and it just was a really, really good World Cup. I can't remember the last time I saw a World Cup as competitive as this one. From straight out the gate, Saudi Arabia beating I was just about to say Saudi Arabia beating Messi, but Saudi Arabia beating Argentina, Japan beating Germany, Morocco getting Portugal out of here. Like, there's just been so many results across the board which a lot of people would not have picked. And honestly, the World Cup being in Qatar, it started off with a bad reputation, but to be honest, I think it's finished in the best possible light. And that's my opinion. Let me know what you guys think, because the World Cup for me that maybe springs to mind is maybe World Cup '94. But apart from that, no, this has been the best for me. And like I said, going into the game, we had Messi versus Mbappe, and obviously Messi got that first penalty, which was harsh. But Roy Keane said, he didn't think it was a penalty, but sometimes defenders deserve to get punished for stupid things. And that was stupid. What Dembele did there, number one, you've sold yourself. Di Maria's been doing that same move for 10, 15 years. You've sold yourself. You've allowed him into the box, and then, you've allowed him to give the ref a decision to make. So, fair play. Messi steps up, slots it away, no pressure. Pressure is for tires. So, I think from there, the game was just all Argentina, I was watching the match thinking, okay, France are surely gonna get started soon. France are surely gonna pick up soon. But nah, they just never seem to get going at all throughout the match. And I was just like, this is just gonna be such a one-way final. And it's unfortunate because, there was a lot of hype going into this match, and this occasion deserved a spectacle, but it looked really one-sided. They then go and get that second goal. And what a second goal it was. Messi ran the corner passing, having that. And then, who was it that played the pass? It might have been Alvarez. And then, Alvarez to McAllister, who I'm going to talk about McAllister in a bit, yeah? And then McAllister to Di Maria. And you see Di Maria, yeah? He has also, obviously it's been about Messi, but Di Maria has deserved this moment as well, because he has been there. The last World Cup, he was showing up. Was it last World Cup? Or was it 2014? It might have been the last World Cup. Or maybe 2014. I don't know. But he got injured, missed the final 2 games, and then, before, CONCACAF. Is it CONCACAF that they do? Copa de Libertadores. Whatever it is. That one, he shows up. He scores a goal in an important moment in the cup. And honestly, he played really, really well today. He had Koundé on toast for the whole match. Until he went off, Koundé could not cope with him. Koundé did not know what to do. Koundé, I'm not going to lie to you, I said it during pre-season when there was a lot of hype around him and people wanted him. I was like, I don't really see it. Maybe he's a centre-back, but at right-back, he didn't look like he was at it. And to be honest, when I've seen him in the World Cup, he's looked like that as well. So, yeah, I thought Deschamps would have taken him off sooner, but he didn't. But also, oh my gosh, how bad was Dembele? How bad was Dembele? And I feel like the pressure, the moment got to him from the moment he gave away that penalty. It's almost as if he was just like, oh my gosh, the nation's hopes are all gone because I've given away this penalty. And he was giving away passes, not tracking back. He was literally not doing anything. And to be honest, when Deschamps made the change just before half time, I was thinking, good, it's deserved. He had to come off because he was bad. He was bad and something needed to change. Like France just looked off it. That midfield, Griezmann, we're going to get onto Griezmann as well. Griezmann, Rabiot and Tchouaméni. And Tchouaméni, I like him, but Rabiot and Griezmann in the centre midfield with him up against real centre midfielders. You got Endo. Is it Enzo? Let me quickly Google that. You got McAllister in there. You got De Paul in there. Rodrigo De Paul. It's too much. Is it Endo? Enzo. Yes, Enzo Fernandez. Okay, cool. Enzo Fernandez. Rodrigo De Paul. He's the one I just said. McAllister. Like, honestly, you can't put Griezmann and Rabiot and Tchouaméni in there. They're going to get run over all day long. And as they progressed through the tournament, you've seen France lose that midfield battle. Against England, they lost it. Against England, they lost that midfield battle. They didn't know what to do. Do you get what I'm saying? And quickly on Griezmann, he almost had me because, I've put tweets out since however many years that he has been a top player. Top player. But how people viewed Griezmann, I've never really understood it. I never really understood how they were putting him up with like Neymar's and Suarez's at one point. And I just didn't get it. And I've asked people, and people are like, no, he's really good. And he is really good, but I've just never really seen it. And he had a couple good games he's had a couple good games during the World Cup, but today was the Griezmann that I knew. He was just off it, completely missing. And that is the Griezmann I know. But McAllister, listen, you see McAllister, man of the match for me. Messi's going to get man of the match, obviously, or he got man of the match. But for me, McAllister was running things in that game. And I knew he was a good player, but I didn't realize just how good of a player he is. And if Brighton can keep hold of him in January, that's going to be that's going to be a massive thing for them. But if they can keep hold of him after next summer, I'd be very surprised because he's come to the World Cup playing in a team full of established players, and he has shone. He has been one of the brighter stars, one of the brighter players, let me say, of that team. And honestly, I did not know he was that good. McAllister had a really, really good tournament. He was man of the match today. He was everywhere. His passing was good. He's breaking up play. He's the third man running, the energy needed. And honestly, it was just so it was a joy. It was a joy to watch. And I was really loving the match. What I wasn't loving, also, actually, I felt like taking off Giroud before half time as well. I felt like that was a bit premature. But at the end of the day, Deschamps made his decision because Giroud also was stinking out of the place. But I would have just given him a bit more time because he wasn't the worst out there either. So now, yeah, second half comes now, and it's a bit more of the same where you're just like, what are they doing? Like nothing really is happening at the moment. Argentina still controlling the game, limiting France to no shots. Mbappe hadn't had a shot yet. There was literally zero threat. But then around 75 minutes, you could maybe see that Argentina were not tiring, but they weren't at that same speed and whatnot. And I think the biggest thing that changed as well was Kingsley Coman coming on, and obviously Thuram came on earlier on, and Colo, I've forgotten what his name is, but the other young boy that came on, it was just straight mandem, straight power, straight pace, and it got to the point where Argentina couldn't handle it. Like if you look at how their first goal came, if you look at how the penalty came for France, the ball not dealt with, and they're through. Pace gets in, Otamendi, wrong side, brings him down. Right, up steps Mbappe now. I was thinking, if there's one keeper you do not want to face in a penalty shootout, it is Martinez because he's got a really good record and he just gets in your head. No, Mbappe puts it in. Doesn't do the Harry Kane thing. No, puts it in. Cool. I'm like, game on, but because of the way the game went, I can't even lie. Because of the way it was already going, I couldn't really see a way back. They got that penalty, and I was just like, that's probably going to be it. No. 76 seconds later, just over a minute later, that 1-2, Mbappe heads. I think it's Thuram. Boom, over. He's in. I thought, take a touch and slot. No, not Mbappe. Mbappe, you see that finish there? That finish there is, I'm telling you now, that's going to go down as one of the great World Cup final goals. It's going to, because in that moment, to have the arrogance, have the confidence to just do it in one and trust your ability, trust your technique, mate, I couldn't, I was jumping up and down. I was like celebrating. I was like, oh my gosh, I couldn't believe it. And I wasn't jumping up and down because I want France to win or something, or even I did want France to win a game. It was more out of, I can't believe what I've just seen. And I kid you not, from that moment on, I was looking at Mbappe and I was just like, nah, Mbappe, you've arrived in this match. Because from then on, he was just causing problems. Him, Thuram, the other striker. Let me get his name because I need to not disrespect him like that. Let me get his name. But they were just causing absolute havoc. And France looked extremely tired. Lineups, let's see. His name is Kolo Muani. Okay, Kolo Muani. So yeah, from when that goal went in, Argentina just looked like they just were just tired, and France looked like they were going to score. France looked like they were going to go and push on and win. And yeah, I couldn't see a way back for Argentina because they legit looked dead on their feet, and France just had raw pace, raw power. We're just snuffing them out. We're just all over them, and it's almost like they were just looking for Messi to just make something happen. Mbappe was taking the game, and he was awake. He was just like, okay, I've arrived here now. Do you know what I mean? And nah, extra time comes, and you know they had other ideas. And I'm not gonna lie, when that Messi goal went in, I was saying to myself, I was like, I didn't even celebrate too much because I was like, it's definitely offside. It's offside because when the pass went into um, Lautaro Martinez, I thought, oh, he's offside. So I didn't even think it. But then I saw the linesman's flag go up. The ref ignored it, then went back down. I was just like, hold on, is this actually a goal? It's actually a goal. And I was just like, wow, Messi. If that is not what written in the stars is, then I don't know what. Messi goes and scores the winner. 4 minutes left of extra time. Messi scores. It just had to be, everything was there for him to just be lauded and applauded as the greatest of all time. And I'm going to get onto Messi. I know I'm not spoken much about Messi, but I'm going to get onto him. And so I got a bit of a cold. So when that happened, I was just like, no, I can't believe it. I actually cannot believe this. Like, I've never seen a game like that. So then I'm like, you know what? They're going to see out the game. It's all done. Cool. God had other plans. God had other plans. Like, I don't know what happened. I'm just seeing another penalty get given because of handball. And I was thinking, oh my gosh, Mbappe's going to get a hat trick in the World Cup final. And what I will say about Mbappe now, yeah, you see the pressure of that penalty, extra time to keep your team in the final, to dispatch it the way he did, to just, yeah, to convert it the way he did. Honestly, that is just, it's class. It's class. I can't even, so yes, he scored 2 penalties, but in order to convert those penalties in those pressure situations and to do it the way he did, you've got to just have class about you. That with his goal, you know, no one, he's just out here scoring hat tricks on the biggest stage possible. That game there, it was the passing of the baton. It was definitely the passing of the baton for me. Like, we've got Messi, the greatest of all time, and in that game, Mbappe, he scores a hat trick. He's driving. He's single-handedly got his team back into an extra time, back into the game again. You know, to penalties. He did as much as he could. He can go. Obviously, you want to be in that final and you want to win. You want to be in that final and you want to win, but he single-handedly just dragged him. Like, he could do no more. He has left that game with his head held high, with people looking at him like, do you know what? He's actually the best right now. He's the best. Do you know what I mean? And yeah, I think he will be back. To already have 12 goals in Champions League. 12 goals in World Cup games. It's mad. He scored 8 this tournament. Mbappe got 8 goals this tournament. The guy's what, 23, 24 years old? Listen, he will be back. He will be back, and I think France will be back again. You know, this is a team with real quality. This ain't the end of them. You know, what I did want to talk about though as well, yeah. I'm looking at the goalkeeping situation, yeah, and have France got like an up and coming keeper? Because when I looked at their bench, they had Areola and Mandanda. Have they got like an up and coming keeper coming through? Because Lloris, I don't know if he's going to be there next tournament. I don't know, but obviously they need to start finding a replacement for him. And I just wondered if they had, yeah, another one, but I don't know. You guys let me know. But also, Emi Martinez, I am totally here for his housery. I'm here for his antics. This guy, when it comes to penalty shootouts, there's no, what did MK say to me? There's no gamesmanship. There's no sportsmanship when it comes to saving shots. When it comes to penalty shootout, there's absolutely none of it. He doesn't care what he does. He doesn't care what he has to do. He's going to get in your head. When Chalmany's coming for the penalty, he's there doing, I can see you, I can see you. He's picking up the ball, throwing it away. Do you know what I mean? Like doing the most. He got in Chalmany's head. Chalmany couldn't even hit the target. He could not even hit the target. And I'm seeing people say, oh, it's cheating. He's not allowed to do it. Why is he able to get away with it and whatnot? Listen, if you've got a keeper that is doing that and saving penalties and putting people off, you will have it. Roy Keane said Lloris could have done it. He didn't do it. So Argentina are winners because of that. So you would absolutely have that in your team. And it shouldn't, I should not love it the way I do, but I do. I do. He's just, yeah. He's such an Argentine. Like he embodies that whole vibe of that team this tournament, because Argentina this tournament, they have just been on dog work. They have just been on crud. They just want to just rough people up. In the first 2 minutes, Rodrigo de Paul pushed over Rabiot for no reason, just pushed him down. The ref had to talk to him like, what are you doing? But that's just what they've been on. They've just been on just disrupting play and getting the ball to Messi for something to happen. That team, their coach deserves a lot of credit because he's got the team playing in a way which facilitates Messi. Messi at PSG is not this Messi because there's other players that the team have to carry. But when you just design the team to carry that one player who you can get away with, because you can't do that with three, Neymar, Mbappe and Messi, you can't do that. But when you've got a team that can do the work, do all the hard running, that Messi has been, all the hard running and facilitates Messi, you're gonna get this version of Messi that we've seen. Now, on the subject of Messi, this guy, he's honestly, I don't even know what to say. The only reason why I wouldn't have minded seeing Argentina win is because of Messi. Messi, for a man that has won everything apart from the World Cup, it would have been, if I'm being totally honest, it would have been a travesty if he didn't get his hands on that World Cup. And I think what we've seen from Messi in this World Cup is a Messi that has a different level of focus. This World Cup it brought the dog out of Messi. Messi was a man possessed. Do you know what I mean? Like, people were saying he was finished. At the beginning of the tournament, they were talking about Messi like he's an any player. And can I just say that I just believe when you've achieved as much as he has, as much as Ronaldo has, I just believe that you should be exempt from anyone talking on your name. I just believe that. So when I heard people talking about Messi the way they were, I couldn't believe it. Get me? That goal he scored against Croatia. I mean, the goal he set up against Croatia. Some of the performances he's been putting in this World Cup, they've been ridiculous. Do you know what I mean? And he really did show up. Same way Mbappe showed up. He really did show up. He really did drag Argentina to another final. And then won the final for them. And for me, he is the greatest. I've always said he's the better player out of him and Ronaldo. Ronaldo was my favourite, but I'm not that guy that's like, oh, I like Ronaldo, so I can't like you, and blah, blah. Like, I know Messi. I've always known Messi is the better player. He is the best player. My favourite was Ronaldo. But those people who can't see that he is the best player, I don't know for you, because he is actually outrageous.